So anyway, I would like to talk about when my dad thought it would be cool to start to go to a new church that came in Holly, Michigan. It was on Grangehill Road, Gateway Spiritualist Church, and that is how I met so many intuitive people. There are some people who are just good bullshit artists, but on the average, I met a lot of people you wouldn't want to lie to. So I loved going to church. It was an amazing church. I actually looked forward to it until my dad married someone he met there, which was his second wife. And we're not talking about her, but anyway, what happened was when you go into the church, what they would do is they have in the back of the church, not in the back, but at where in the back where people are done, where they're sitting instead of a different pew or whatever, sitting down for other people, you had a healing chair. There's two healing chairs on each side. And then in the front, after the sermon was done, whatever, there was a woman who was doing the sermon all the time. She would run the sermon for the Gateway Spiritualist Church over in Holly, Michigan. So I'm kind of curious if they still have it, but I tell you, let me see if they have it. All right, I'm kind of curious if they're still in business because it was a very positive thing that happened. What would happen is they would bring up people who were in the church for a while who were either psychic, they were really psychic. And a lot of, I would say in a lot of families, when you have like the psychic kind of thing going on in your family, the age of 12 is usually when it becomes noticeable. So that would be in my family. They would know that by the age of 12, you come into your own. Now, hi, Terry. We're talking about spiritualism, churches. My dad in the time frame. So he's already gone. All right. Anyway, what happened is they would run their sermon and they would go, well, we would have some people coming who were in the church already, and they went and would bring them in and they would stand up front and they would talk to people. And I had one lady, oh, unfortunately she wasn't very psychic and I like to play with her, and my dad told me to quit doing that because the other people who were more intuitive than me at that time wouldn't think well of me. So I quit playing with her. But yeah, you will get some bullshit artists who will, cold read and all that. We knew all about that. And we really didn't appreciate people coming in and not doing what we call we are God's soldiers and know that she did. You would get people who would read other people. We had healing chairs with some people who were really good healers. I was started off where I helped out, and my dad wanted me to be, to understand, because when you have a daughter who is intuitive as me, he wanted me to get a handle of myself. So I got to learn a lot because I was attracting fucking spirits. Okay. The next man I get with will have to be very understanding and loving, and understanding that he might turn around in his bed and find a spirit next to him that wants to be shown the way home and will seek me out, because I am like that lighthouse. My grandmother explained it the best. You are like a lighthouse. The spirits see you and are attracted to you and will come to you even when you're sleeping. Don't be scared. I used to think, Grandma, come on. Oh my God, she was not joking. My grandmother didn't pull no punches when it came to the reality of things. And I am glad that my dad did go to a spiritualist church because he had a daughter who had, let's just put it this way, as for myself, I needed a lot of guidance and I wasn't going to get it being in Michigan. I got it a couple months out of the year when I would go to California to be with my family in there. But until then, I had to learn how to deal with attracting spirits, and the spiritualist church was the best thing for me. I learned how to meditate. I learned how to um, just hold everything that I have now that I use. I learned in the spiritualist church. And what they do is after they do the sermon, they have some of their congregation, and it would be the pastor. Would a lot of times she would come around, oh, I feel that this, and she was good. The pastor was really good, and she was considered a healer, where she used to have people drive all over the place, and yeah, she was known to find if you have an ailment, something going on in your body, that she would find what it was, and she was very good. Some of the people she had weren't as good as she was, but I would say that on the average, I really enjoyed having my readings done by the pastor. The Gateway Spiritualist Church was just a small little church off of Grangehill Road over in Holly, Michigan. I learned some of the most wonderful things, how to call angels, how to do all that, and they were really good teachers. As time went on, they more or less we got to go to their summer place, and we'd spend like a week there. My dad would go, "You want to spend two? Oh no, no, not 2 weeks. I can't do 2 weeks." And it was a whole house that we would get. But it was the idea, it was like I said, I can only go with so many bologna sandwiches before uh, didn't, my dad's one wife couldn't cook worth a crap. Okay. By the time I was 12, I can now cook my step monster. That's what my grandma used to call her. Just put it this way, my grandmother didn't like her. So anyway, in the spiritualist church, you got to learn a lot of the tricks, not tricks, but how to meditate, how to get yourself in a meditated state, how to deal with being attacked by, spirits that say they're someone and aren't, and all that stuff, and the protection with angels and stuff, which I, again, would like to show my angel. It's over here. It's been raining a lot here in Pahrump, so uh, my RV roof is leaking like a sieve, and I got to get that fixed. This is really an amazing book. It really is, and it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. It's worth its weight in gold. And a lot of people would ask about dealing with spiritualism, and they thought it was in Holly back in that time. They thought it was devil worshiping, and no, we pray to God. We ask all the archangels to help us. I learned how to talk to angels. I learned how to meditate, and I learned also how to heal. By the time I was 16, I was already um, I had been doing readings for since I was 13 over at the spiritualist church, just going up to people and telling them, I see this and this, is that help? And they would go, oh yeah, you would have information and you would pass it on to that person. You didn't expect money, you just expect to give them, like we call sharing the gift, because if you don't use your gift, you lose your gift, is what we were taught. I had, by the time I was 16, I had ghostly visitors. I would send them off to the light. People who would get in accidents nearby would come by. My dad would go, oh, I felt that there was something going on when you were talking in your room. I go, yeah, I had some, I would describe a guy or describe a person, And you go, oh yeah, that sounds like that person. Was that person that came in your room? Yeah, yeah, that person came in my room. And what did they talk about? Didn't believe that they had passed on, and I wanted to move them on. And a lot of times you could do that. It's easy. Oh, I'm going to put the fan on. It's a bit, it's cool out, but it's still, like, it's muggy out. You still need a little air circulation. So I would do readings for people and help them out. In my family, the age of 12 is a big thing. It's like how some people would have the quinceanera, or you would have, the coming of age. In my family was way younger than anyone else's. It was 12. And that's when most of my family knows if you're normal or not. I know I'm not normal. I'm way beyond Abby. I'm like Abby normal. So I have come to a complete realization that I got to see both sides of worlds, and that's where a lot of priests actually made it to, who would go incognito and not say that they were priests. But I would always say, I would pull them aside. So, how long were you a priest? A lot of them that were no longer in the system, but they would still do certain things that they knew that people needed help with. Um, a lot of times, you get a lot of people who really had, um, how can I say, to get a priest to come to your house to do certain blessings was one thing, but to get a priest to help someone out who has a visitor in their body that shouldn't belong there is a little harder. And you have to go through a lot of hoops and stuff. My dad used to have to. One time he said, I just want my house blessed, He finally got it to the point. You see, our house is on, it's on a ley line. And every year it needed to be blessed. If you didn't get it blessed, you knew. Oh, yeah, a lot of stuff happened. We had an unusual house, and that's just the way it went. And it was the best learning experience I ever had. That's how I myself got at people who are sending you bad things. That's what I do. I've asked Michael, Gabriel, and then of course we have Metatron was once a human being. I ask him for any people who have the millennials. I deal with that. They state that you shouldn't be high in some cases, but everything's different. I haven't been smoking a lot of weed. I've been more or less weeding off it, kind of. That's why I wanted to go. And next time we're going to be working on mud masks by Aztec. But right now I am talking about the spiritualist church in which my dad and I and my sibling, my brother, we went to. It was the most unique experience I've ever had. Usually I would say, but I really enjoyed going to church, and I enjoyed certain things about it. Of course, I think it's because they let me get away with a lot more than an average church. And I was able to feel normal for the first time. So I thought about it. Maybe I should look up if there's a spiritualist church over in Vegas. So let's see if there's a spiritualist church in Vegas. Spiritualist church in Vegas. Let's see. See how big Vegas is. It's the internet's kind of slow because of all the rain. Spiritualist Desert Church, Spring Mountain, Unit 51. Oh wow. It's looks like it used to be a motel thing. It's on Spring Mountain Road, Unit 51, Las Vegas. All right. So they do have spiritualist church in Vegas, you know. Maybe I can go and belong. I don't know. But I do know that I want to be around like-minded people, and that's the closest thing I can think of. And I thought about that, and Spiritualist Church in Las Vegas, Nevada, 1,177, 1,107 likes to talk about. They are very welcoming. So I'm like, hmm. Located at Plaza Vegas Business Park. So let's see what the website is like. I'd like to see that. Oh, they joined their our live Zoom service from 11 a.m. Pacific time and watch using the purple service button. So you can see their stuff on Zoom. So they have a really good website. Um, I think I might go back to kind of my roots in a way. I'm trying to refine myself. I went and instead of going to the storage unit, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy myself a new umbrella. You know why? I haven't bought myself a new umbrella in over 10 years. Might as well. So, so if you're looking for something new and something where you're not going to be judged at, I would go for a spiritualist church, especially if you have kind of intuitive. If you're really intuitive, then go for that. But that's what I am looking at. So I'm looking at starting my life over and living like my friend said. I visited him. He's just a forever friend. I drove him and his son to Vegas and took him back. Well, anyway, he was saying, you got the most unusual thing. You should be the one in the house with the room with the air conditioning unit, and your ex should be out where your son's at, and your son should be here in the RV. And I go, yeah, I know. It's because I was so happy for senior psychopaths to sign the divorce papers. I just wanted him out, and I'm still dealing with him. I'm still, chained to him in some way he can see. So I said, well, what do you want me to do? He goes, well, you can move in here, but the thing is, my living conditions could change too. And I said, well, we'll have to come up with a plan. But right now, I'm just dealing with where I'm living at now. I'm only 5 minutes from work, and that's how I'm seeing it as, you know. So what I think I'm going to do is, since they show their stuff on Zoom, that I would go on Zoom and I would start belonging to this church. I want to call them up and find out. They haven't changed their website from the COVID stuff, and a lot of people are getting together. And if it's at 11, that's a decent time. I only work from a certain time on a Saturday. So that's my, story. When you go into a spiritualist church, usually they have two healer chairs or more. It matters how big the church is. They might even have less than that, and they might not even have a healer chair. But I know that that was the one of the things that I truly loved was the healing chair. The people were so positive. I mean, I would go there I would go there and it was amazing. So I was thinking of going to the spiritualist church and asking for healing because of my breast being getting lumps and stuff. So that's where I'm going at with that, is to try to find some positive way into helping me out and to giving me back part of my life, and in fact to give me answers. So that's where I'm at, and that's the reason why I used to belong to spiritual. I belonged to Gateway Spiritualist Church over in Holly, Michigan, off of Grange Hall Road, and you could check that out too. So let's find out where that is. But I really like, you know, I like that. Uh, I don't know if they're having any church services, but I will contact them. Uh, See, they're, I don't know where Spring Mountain, it's a ways, but they do have where you can go and Zoom. So that's neat. I remember most people have it in their houses. This place was pretty cool. I remember that when they bought they bought where they can live on top, and they had the church down below. It was amazing, and I truly enjoyed it. I hope her son was able to run the show, but that's about it. I'm thinking of joining a spiritualist church again so I can maybe get some healing in, find out what's going on with my body, and be with like minded people. So, you know, um, that's where I'm at with that. You know, I wish I would have more or less, when I was saying last week about spiritualist churches and stuff, that's the only church that I actually felt accepted. I really, and it's kind of, that's where I would go, oh no, I would say to a person at the church, oh no, you're not going to go on your vacation, not the way you thought. It'll be a week or two later because of unseen circumstances. And usually that would happen. And, I would get, my dad would call me, give me your psychic advice. Should I do this? I'm like, Dad, you just hold your horses. Yeah, it kind of gave me a feeling of worthiness and belonging, where I could talk about a lot of stuff that people are afraid to talk about. Just like when you get a haunting and how you get rid of it. Why is there so many? Ghosts are attracted to one place and another place will just be, nothing. And we would talk about all kinds of stuff in dealing with how they proved a lot of people who were so-called clairvoyants, who were taking people's money and were not helping them except line their pocketbook. And that's not right either. So, and that's what I figured I would do, ask for healing. And I also deal with my metaphysical therapist. It's been helping me be less, where I don't stay on a subject and I start talking about myself. It's not what everyone comes here. Yeah, they like to hear me blab, but come on, you want to hear about a spiritualist church, not about something other going besides a spiritualist church. Usually you'll have about every church is, I would think, would be different, but they usually run about the same gamut. They'll do their spiel and stuff. Yes, they ask for money. That's all churches, and a lot of them do need help with that. If you need help, a lot of times they will be willing and more than happy to help you. So that's where I stand with that. A lot of the spiritualist churches don't do their thing on Sunday, or did they did. I don't know if they did theirs on Sunday or Saturday. I don't know. But I will call up and I will find out. I really can do with a good, what they call healing. I have been healed already, being healed by my metaphysical therapist and helping me be not so much of an asshole. Yeah, you know, it's just when you've been in a relationship for over so many years and you're pretty much told by a judge to stay with them for a certain amount of time because that's yeah, pretty much. My ex had a certain amount of time. If I would have left, he could have pressed charges again and I could have gotten in prison for 10 years because it was federal. Anytime you get in a fight with anybody, we're talking police officers, uh, firemen, anyone who's in like Navy, Coast Guard, you name it, anyone who's in the like serving our country, it's a federal crime. And if you get somebody who is a true troll, oh, those true trolls are horrible. They will put your ass, and they will not let. He would not let go of me. Um, I had to tell my metaphysical therapist that my ex contacted my dad and said, "I don't want to get divorced. And your daughter wants to divorce me, so I want to put her in a mental institution because she wants to divorce me." My dad said they will ask to, and they did. They, I asked the institution to test my ex, and they tested me, and they wanted to keep my ex. They said, "Wow, you got a lot of problems. You want to stay here? You know, you could just." They were. It was hilarious. They're like, "You can relax here, and we'll take care of your problems." Man, they looked at my ex like he was like a dessert. Whoa, they were like, "Wow." So, like anything else, we're getting off subject. Let's get back onto the spiritualist, and not the fact that my ex was, yeah, he's a very bad person, and I wish, and this is the one thing I'm going to pray, dear God, please get, I really want to be away from senior psychopaths. I really am tired of having to see him, even if it's once a week. He does mean things. He's just mean. I just don't want him in my life anymore. Please work it where I can be free of senior psychopaths. Amen. There you go. He has issues, and that's the reason why I wanted to divorce him so many years ago. 7 years into it. If your brother, sister, or your son or daughter is telling a person that they're with that if they leave that they're going to kill themselves, you need to realize your son or daughter needs to go to therapy and needs to relinquish uh, being with that person, because obviously they want their way out. But I was told when senior psychopaths never, this is before he went in the Navy and everything, and he said he was going to kill himself. I felt so bad and stuff because, of course, he also said he had cancer on his thumb that came back. He tried the same cancer deal. I mean, the thing is, my breast got big, and I got lumps in them. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Excuse my language, but what's going on? So I came to a realization something's going on with my body that I don't understand. I would like it taken care of. Of course, when I was dealing with this, I was having to be at work at 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And it was like sleep deprivation. Like, oh, I was a bad Karen. So again, you know, spiritualist church, when you get in there, you'll have your pastor. I had a female pastor, and she was a very strong female. Her husband helped run it, and she was the main thing around it. And she helped me a lot. She was the best teacher besides my grandfather and grandmother and my dad that helped me. I mean, there's something to say when you wake up and you're like 12 and you see spirits and you're going, okay, I'm not going to freak out. All right, I understand. And I was told that I am a beacon. They will seek me out. And a lot of times I would see that. It's raining again, and I left my umbrella in the house. Shit. So, anyway, I had learned a lot from the spiritualist church. They were amazing and heartwarming. Well, as time went on, my dad had met a woman through there, and she was a horrid, evil person. Spiritualist church. We gave that up because she was really in it. And my dad's like, don't fight it. You know what? We'll just deal with that. And that was it. We were a church that we could walk to, and we didn't say nothing. I mean, a lot of people thought that they were devil worshipers. No, it's a spiritualist church, honey. Look it up. It's a spiritualist church, and it's dealing with spirits. I mean, it's different how to look at that, but yeah, that's exactly what we were all dealing with. And it was very healing. So I'm thinking of belonging to a spiritualist church, and hopefully I can, you know, connect with some like minded people. That's where I'm looking at, is connecting with like minded people, because of the fact that I'm not normal. I've given up. I can belong to regular churches and stuff and help out, and I feel add out. And I know a lot of people would say the same thing. That's why they belong to that, because they have the touch, the like what Stephen King would call the shine. You shine. That's where the book Shining means, about psychic people shining. And he talks a lot. That's why I like Stephen. He talks a lot about psychic people and all that stuff. So that's what I am. I am a psychic person. And yeah, I can tell when I can tell when they're lying usually. My grandma could too. And I usually understand if there is a lie to help with your life, or something where you don't want people to know. Good. I'll keep it up. My whole family on my father's side, you didn't lie. You already knew that they knew. My grandfather would look at you, really stuff. Come on. Okay, grandpa, yeah, yeah. In my family, you just tell the truth. I've just given up, and I've just become a truthful person. And especially when you're dealing with my dad. Yeah, he'd give you that eye. Grandpa, if he was pissed at you, he wouldn't talk to you. Tell your brother that lazy SOB. Yeah, he ruined all my brother took apart all my grandfather had about we had quite a bit of lawn to do, and we always had different lawnmowers, because one break down, take the other one, he fixed that week and take that out. I used to mow lawns till I think I was 14, when I finally sat down with grandma and said, your friends don't water the lawn, and it's getting dirty, and I can't deal with this shit. They need to have someone come out and just pull their tumbleweeds. My grandma goes, oh, what about, no, they don't feed me. They feed me cookies that came from I don't know where, but it is so hard that when I stuck it in the milk, and you're like waiting, it still was hard. I said the dog wouldn't eat it. That's how bad the cookies are. You go from Maria's house to her house, man, you get filled up. I love one house always. So we're getting off the subject about spiritualism, but when you deal with spiritualism, it is a different church. It is something that came about in the 19th century, where you contact grandma for like answers where the will was, or you wanted to talk to a family member that you never got to meet. Spiritualism believed that you can contact your loved ones and about being healed and having your body self-healing and all this amazing stuff. And that's what they believe, you know. I mean, I don't know if they would have healing chairs or whatever, but that's what they did have over in um, the Gateway Spiritualist Church. Of course, you know, they had Gateway, other stuff, but this was on Grange Hall Road in Holly, Michigan. And it was a really nice church. I learned a whole lot. It is, how can I say this? There are people out there who will, I call them, they think it's funny to play with ghosts and spirits, and it's a joke, and it's something that should not be tampered or played with someone who just goes online and buys a book and goes, well, let's see, we're going to get this one and we're going to send it to you know, that guy down the street that just causes all kinds of problems. We're going to send him something really evil. Don't play with evil, because if it gets sent back to you, if you don't know how to deal with it and it gets sent back to you, you will be truly calling up the priest, is what I would say. But yeah, there are some bad people who send out bad things. And I was always told, you know, protect yourself, know your angels. And in time after I married the troll, you forget. And I'm remembering and rediscovering who I am. I always thought of myself as, you know, I'm just barely making it, you know. So as always, you know, down below I have information, so you could go on a PayPal, you could give out the email address, and you can give my channel some money, which would be great, you know. If you want to help out, you know, there's email down there. But I've made a decision to look into going back to being in the spiritualist church, because I really enjoyed it. When my family, we come of age, is the age of 12. That's the reason why I'm wearing the Hogwarts shirt, because at the age of 12, we find out if we're going to be a muggle or we're going to be different. And I found out younger than that I definitely was a different one. My parents had a lot of unusual circumstances with me, where they would go, yeah, my daughter had a friend in her closet, and we found out we had to send them to the light. Mom, I got a new friend in my closet. Every night we go in and we play. And my mom's like, she gets my dad, and my dad goes, let's go in the closet and find your friend. Okay, Dad. Yep. You know, it's unusual an experience that my family had. So spiritualist church is a church that contacts the dead, to be honest, and also deals with healing. You know, in a sense, it sounds bad, contacts. Well, they are spiritualists, you know. So since I have no one left on here, I am going to go. I want everyone to have a wonderful, fun day Sunday. And I am going to wish everyone a wonderful day, and keep a prayer in your pocket, and heart and love in your heart, and have a great day.